pardon, sorry. Evening, folks. Oh, welcome back to the channel. Oh, damn, I'm sorry, I forgot to. I thought I was gonna be so prepared to go live a half hour earlier. Um, I was right and I was wrong. I didn't open up. I've been remembering to open up Twitch before I start this. I forgot. So I do apologize if it's gonna play. Oh, pardon any sync issues. I am sorry if it's gonna play like a commercial at you. I'll try to make it shut the hell up. Don't 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 please stop. Go. No. Okay. I don't think it made any sense. Great. It's like I have never done this before because I've only gone live at 6:30 like maybe 3 times. Well, what it is Frank is doing, he had to postpone a show from last month because it was just it's like his cousin was coming from out of town and the weather was just crummy. He didn't want to put him through that, so it was postponed for tonight. And it sounds like it's going to be a family show. I think he mentioned like his dad's going to be there, his cousin Jeff, possibly his mom. He mentioned it yesterday, so that's like 2 days ago for me. All right, sorry about screwing around. What is up? You are dumb too. And Patrick, how is it going? So nerve-wracking to do this live, the scrutiny. Okay, did I forget anything else? I think I'm good. Your Dumps 2 said, have you seen the Mega Man parody? A Neil Young parody, Canada Ain't Your 51st State? I have not, no. And yeah, Patrick, I'm doing very, very well. I'm actually surprised. Except for why the hell am I sweating? It's just I don't know what the temperature's doing today. It's just odd. It's like a couple degrees above freezing outside. I don't know what the temperature's doing inside. I slept in. What's been happening is the 6th, well technically March 7th, Lady Gaga's album Mayhem was dropping. So that means all of the songs were available at midnight my time. So there I was, white knuckling it until midnight to listen to that. And long story short, I was up until 4 a.m. So yesterday I kind of got up okay, had my coffee, had my Keto Brainz and all that, but then I ended up staying up late again last night. Just I don't know why. And then I slept in an hour. I don't usually. I'm not the one to sleep in. So it kind of threw me off. So it made it seem like I had even less time to do everything. And since that album has come out, I wish I have a twin to just do everything I can to listen to How Bad Do You Want Me, one of the songs from that album, and then the rest of me can just go to Quite Frankly and watch Dark Shadows because I want to learn that song as fast as possible. I don't want to. I can't jump around too much. As much as I did want to sit here, I had for like almost for maybe 2 weeks. I was thinking I was going to call the show Mayhem and then talk about that CD for part of it. I really have listened to the whole thing just one time all the way through, and then I found my new favorite song. Love this song to death. Like it's going in my top 10 favorite Gaga songs. So I'm gonna have to bump one out because I like this song so much. I listened to the whole CD or the whole album, I should say, because they like right at 12:01 they drop it all on YouTube. They do not release the songs in order, and I want to listen to a CD in order. So I, had made sure I had the track list and I put the songs into my own playlist so I could play them in order to hear them properly in the proper order. And it took so much willpower to force myself to hear this song and then continue with the rest of the album. I didn't know if there were going to be more good songs. I didn't know if that was going to be the best song. I didn't know, but it was so hard to make myself not stop and listen to that song, because about 3 hours of that first night was just listening to one song because it's that good. So I can't, as much as I could sit here and talk about Mayhem, it's really just listening to all the songs one time in my own house. I want to give it a fair shake and listen to the songs in the car to get the full experience. But on the whole, check it out. I'm not gonna sit here and bash it. It's better than Joanne. It's better than Chromatica. I don't sound excited. I really I don't want to influence anybody too much one way or another about it. But it is absolutely worth checking out. And then I maybe next week I'll sort of settle all my thoughts about that and put that into there somewhere, because I do have to say something about it. I've been waiting for good music from this woman since 2016. It took 9 years. So I've just been, I haven't been in a place since 2013. This has not happened where she's like released music. And, at least for just this one song, I can just play it as is. It's 4 minutes long. You don't have to remix it. The only thing I want done with it, honestly, like I found an acapella of it because her voice sounds good in it. And then, like they could take, it is sort of a song that's like a sad topic, but it's like an upbeat type of song. Like think of Torn by Natalie and Bruglia. It's actually a song about something that's like not all like cheery and boppy and happy, but that song is so fun and up, and she's like dancing in it, so like you're kind of tricked into thinking it's just a happy song when it's really not. That's kind of what this is. So like I would sort of like a moody remix of it to sort of like bring it all home, because you can have a sad song and just have it sound sad. That's fine, but you can also take a sad song or a sad topic and make it happy. I like that too. So that's, I do like this. It kind of makes me think of, say, if you were to take Earthquake and Fashion of His Love, this would be sort of like a like going through that relationship and coming to the end of it, and realizing what it all was, and then you got How Bad Do You Want Me. So it's sort of, and I kind of hate to say that, because Earthquake is sort of like a song where like she's kind of like, maybe she was with the guy, she wants to get back with him, it's very unstable. Fashion of His Love is a more like a happier, like they did get together, they do like each other, and then this is, years later on, and maybe things fell apart, so it kind of has a sad ending. If you want to think of it like that, I don't necessarily listen to songs and think, oh, this is like a part two to this, or this is a follow up to this song. It's fine if you do want to look at music that way. I really don't. Because then you sort of get into like, is it like a continuation, like a part two to the first song, or are they like just ripping off the first song and it just sounds like that? They just sound alike. That's why it's a part one and a part two. I don't really look at music that way. I sort of look at music as, maybe it's because I'm from a different time. Oh, what's up, Zora? But it used to be back in my day, an artist would drop an album and we would just play the hell out of it for a couple of years until the next album came out, and we would play the hell out of that because it was solid from beginning to end. We don't have that anymore. um, and like, yeah, you can call me a boomer and just say it's because I'm getting older and taste in music and whatnot. But oh, what's her name that mumbles? Billie Eilish. You can't listen to that and have bad hearing. It's sort of like, if you cannot sing, listen to that and you will feel like you are Judy Garland. It's just not like zero effort, and people put stuff out there. That's what you can do now. It was not like that back in my day. You had to put out good content. So that's what I'm doing. Since like the whole album is, well, it does have that last song on there that I didn't care for as a single. And it does have one other song that starts out good, but then it's got this high pitched sound in it. So no, I'm not touching that song again until somebody remixes it and gets that sound out of there. So I can't say like to just sit here and like listen to the whole thing because the song I like's right in the middle, and then like a song I don't like is right before that. So it wouldn't be fun to like sit and listen to the whole way through. And then maybe just getting older, I can't understand every single word she's saying, and I cannot learn a song wrong, or I'll never learn it right. So if I want to learn these songs, I've got my lyric videos, so I can learn all the lyrics. I will look them up and make sure I get all the ands and buts and thes in there. I don't feel like nitpicking for the other songs to do that. Here's just one song that I love very much that I can just enjoy as is. And like I want a 10-hour cut of it so I don't have to keep repeating the same song over and over again. Thank the gods right now the video that I have has the correct lyrics and it is not monetized. That could change in the future, but right now at this second it's not like that. So I can enjoy that. So I get to sit back and enjoy a song that's solid on its own, that is not a single. Because yes, Disease is awesome on its own. Yes, Abracadabra is awesome on its own. They're supposed to be. They are singles. That is their job. I'm talking about a song that's just smack dab in the middle of the album. If you were listening to tapes, you might not even know it was on there. And that just happened. And the thing is, like some songs I really like one of my absolute favorite songs ever. The first time I heard it, I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't like this. What am I, I wasn't gonna shut it off, and I'm like, and then it gets to the end and it's one of my songs. It started out right away and I liked it because it sounds like Addicted from MDNA. I say that because she has an Addicted, Madonna does, from Rebel Heart. Completely different song. Does not sound like the one from Rebel Heart. I like that one more, but this sounds like Addicted from MDNA. And it also has like sort of like a Taylor Swift vibe to it, which is kind of odd for me to say because I don't sit and listen to Taylor Swift. They play her enough on the radio, you don't have to. Whether you like her or not, you're going to hear some Taylor Swift. So it kind of like sounded like Gaga doing Taylor Swift better than Taylor Swift. And it also kind of has like a 90s vibe to it. But it is and again, everybody can. Something else I really don't get into is people who like sit there and try to tell you what a song is about. Like, first of all, didn't ask. Second of all, I don't even care if the author is explaining to me what it means. Don't care, because once you make a piece of art and put it out in the world, it's no longer yours. So anybody can interpret it any way they want to. And that can be correct. But to me, the song is about, yeah, songs are about a lot of things, but just to like focus it in on one thing. And this is one thing that like peeves me off, just in general, the most about just being human, being alive. And that's kind of why I like this song, because it's forcing me to like bring up something that just kind of pisses me off so badly. It's that no matter what you do, you cannot compete with the image somebody has in their head of their ideal. There's like nothing physically on earth that you can do. You can actually move a fucking mountain and that still will have no effect. So there's just nothing you can do to change somebody's mind about you. You can't compete with somebody's imagination. That's what it's about. Yeah. I like I don't know what key it's in. Again, I don't know that much about music, but as I was listening to it, because I wasn't quite singing it, 2 and 3 in the morning, I was thinking I could probably sing this in a lower register, which is what I like to do because my real voice is naturally low. I've got to bring it up to sing girl songs. But I can sing it almost as low as I can go. I can sing it in that register. I don't have to hurt my voice to it. It doesn't go too high for me, so it's fun to sing. I don't want to sit here and just talk about one song for the whole time, but it is good enough that it's worth the 9-year wait. It's worth all of the, even if it was the only good song on Mayhem. It's not. There are other good songs, but this is just the best one. This is probably the best song I've heard since that remix that Vanderlei Veris did of Earthquake and Fashion of His Love last March of yeah, 2024. It came out, and that was my most listened to song, a remix that this guy did on his channel. And he has not done any remixes for anything on Mayhem yet. I wonder what he's going to do, but I don't want to put any pressure on him because I don't know the guy. And um no offense to him, but sometimes he is a little bit hit or miss. Sometimes his remixes are remixes. Oh, Dandy, glad you made it. Saturday Night Fever. Hey, everyone. Yeah, it's just like a tad bit warm. You know, like he just, not to knock him because he does good stuff, but it's just like a track I'll listen to once and that's enough. And then I've got something like he did another track for Plastic Doll. I didn't realize it was him, but I've been playing it for 4 years. So like it's something I have to play. I play it every time I'm folding laundry. It's one of my laundry folding songs. Because it's not monetized. None of his stuff is monetized. He has a remix of So Happy I Could Die. Love it. So some of his stuff is just out of this world. There are some good Gaga remixers that hit it out of the park. This guy's just consistent enough for me to follow his channel. But I really do want to listen to the whole thing to give you my full opinion, because I don't know like what the bass is gonna do. Like I didn't know that just how Abracadabra sounds like a heartbeat. Like I can't tell that from the TV, but I can feel it in the car, and I'm just so far away from. I think I'd go back out again on Wednesday or something like that. I really can't go out on Mondays because like I can and be home in time, but then Frank goes live at 11, and it's a lot to like get up early and have that extra light, drive around, and then have the extra light from the laptop, and then it's just too much. So I want to give it a fair shake, listen to the whole thing in the car. If you like, some of it does have like a funk kind of feel. A few times I sort of felt like I was listening to Crazy Sexy Cool. If you are into that. Oh, John Rogers, glad you made it. So it isn't like just dance. It isn't just funk. It isn't like just one thing. It's got a it bounces around. Let's say that. And if you're like me, you can kind of just pretend nothing really happened too much after 2013, and then this is just her fifth album. I don't know, I keep harping on this. I keep thinking back to it. Like, what if I got this back in 2016 and didn't have to go through what happened in 2016? Year 17 for me. What if I would have had an album to listen to? It wouldn't have been that bad. Like, she could have done that for, but it just, I don't know. Just can't live in the past. Hindsight 2020 and all that. Let's just get on with talking about, I do want to mention my bag of Keto Brainz showed up, and this fucker is huge. Look at this. This is my friggin' forearm. Here it's just gonna sit right here. It's that big. It's 16.9 ounces, 480 grams. Like it's got some weight to it, and it's literally like if you tried the samples, it's the exact same stuff. It doesn't like say smell more coconutty because there's a bigger bag. Nothing like that. And I got this. This came on, I want to say the 6th. So I'm going to take it. And I did start taking it right away. Like I made my coffee and then I kept checking my, like the email to see if it had been delivered. So like every half hour I'm checking my email. But it showed up. I put it in my coffee right away. And so like I'm glad I had this before Mayhem. So like I think I had like 3 cups of coffee and 3 scoops of this in one day. So maybe that's how I stayed up until 4 a.m. But I'm going to take this stuff for a month. And then I'm going to do a proper review on the channel. So probably around April something. 6. Oh, maybe April 12th. Give it a full month of taking it. And just to see what it does for me. I do notice a difference. And I want to experiment with it. Like, for example, since it does have calories in it, I could say put a scoop of that in my coffee and then take my vitamins, and that will be enough calories that taking the vitamins won't give me an upset stomach or anything like that. Like stuff like that. That's what I mean, experiment. I'm not gonna, I don't know, put it in a lab or anything like that. It's just to see how I can make it work for me, and then like do a proper review and put that up on the channel. Same thing with Mayhem. Like, let me listen to that whole thing. Let me listen to it in the car, and then I can, because I did take my little notes, of course, but I just don't want to sit here and just read off my notes. And that's it. I would like to say a little bit on it because I do have, like, just want to speculate about just where she's going on the whole. That, for example, one song that sounds like, oh, hey, this would be, like, if Evanescence cared, they could sound like this, but she doesn't. They don't even want to turn up Amy Lee's volume in the studio anymore, so I don't know who she pissed off, producer-wise, for them to turn her volume down, but that's how that's played out. Approaching midnight here, a bit chilly, Patrick saying, yeah, it's been just a little cold. All that snow melted, so that's good. You can go out and just be cold. You don't have to worry about slipping and falling or anything stupid like that. And yesterday was the Zells' birthday, so happy belated birthday to them. I hope Jim Zell got his Twizzlers, and I don't really know what Frank Zell is into. Um, I don't know. If he's a cat, maybe catnip. Dandy, for real? Asking Patrick, do you change your clocks? We turn ours an hour forward tonight. Is it daylight savings for real? Uh, Thanks for saying something, or I wouldn't have known. Daylight. Oh, I gotta mention this. Daylight savings account. Daylight savings time. 2025. Oh, it is March 9th. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so at March 9th at 2 a.m. our time, we go forward an hour, and then yeah, and then Patrick is saying in a week or two they do that. Yeah, how they do it is like the U.S. goes forward an hour, and then like we're sort of like in a way technically closer to the UK for maybe 2 weeks, and then they jump ahead too, and it's just the regular 5 hours. Yeah, okay. Thanks for mentioning that. That's what happened. This was like 4:26 today. I'm on Tumblr, minding my own business. Maybe I shouldn't have been. I had to start getting ready at 4:30, so that's why I'm like, well, let me get into a little bit of phone time. I think it was like resting my back before I had to get up and set up. And the thing with Tumblr is you can kind of tell when people are being serious and when they're making something up. So I come across this and I believed it immediately. They were talking about how it's interesting how, Frodo Baggins, like I guess the name Frodo means like somebody who is like become wise because they've lit like an older wise person. That's sort of like what the name Frodo means. Oh, what's up, Dusty Blue? Glad you made it. But they're like, okay, here's Elijah Wood playing Frodo, and at the time Elijah was 18. They're like, nobody points that out, but it's true. Like thinking it, like I know he's a year older than me, and just like thinking it, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about true, whatever. And they're like, yeah, that's totally wild. Like basically a kid, and he's doing this performance, and he's holding his own against people like Ian McKellen and Ian Holm and just all these other great actors. And like I don't realize that now. Like as he's saying this, like yeah, that's true. Holy fucking shit! And I love the Lord of the Rings Something Fierce. I saw all three of them in the theater. Fellowship's in my top five. I really do just remember because like I'm not one of these like because people were affected by 9/11, whether you knew somebody who passed away in it or not. Just people were just acting differently, and the first thing that pulled everything together was not until almost 2 months later in December when the Lord of the Rings came out. And it would have been, the movie's great whether or not there was a tragedy in the United States or not. But I love those movies, Something Fierce. They were just phenomenal. If you have not seen The Lord of the Rings, I don't know how you've been dead for 24 years. But anyway, so I'm looking at this article scrolling down, and it was saying how The Lord of the Rings, because they shot them all three together, but they began filming on October 11, 1999, and filmed until October 11, 1999. The day time began for me. Are you fucking? And I believed it right away, to just the way it was set up, and I I kind of feel like I should have known that before today. I don't know everything that happened on that day in the whole world, don't get me wrong. But it was too close to showtime to get that kind of information. What's up, Lizard? Glad you made it. Lizard P. And I'm thinking, you did not just tell me that. It's like walk up to me with three heads. Like, I cannot believe that just happened. I'm like, you know what? That is so phenomenal. I have to look this up. That can't be true. I mean, it could be, but for that, of all the days in the entire world that have ever happened throughout history, that one specific day, I know it was a Monday, they decided to start filming. Let me go to Wikipedia myself. Go over there, looking around. When do they start filming? No dates. I'm like, this is bullshit. I know they. John Rogers, you've got to watch The Lord of the Rings. You don't have to watch the director's cut. That's okay. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, Return of the King. You have to see those movies. Have to. Not after you're dead, while you're still alive. Ha. You're missing out. You're seriously missing out. So anyway, you go to the Lord of the Rings, Wikipedia, it's not there. I'm like, this is such bullshit. I can't believe I believe this. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me try it another way. So I searched, like, when was the Lord of the Rings 2001 filmed? And somewhere in that article, that's where they had it. It began. I still have it pulled up. You know how they word things different now. This must have been a screenshot taken before. Now they have everything written as if we live in the UK. Like, they put the number, then the month, and the year. That's okay. That doesn't bother me. I still understand what that means. But there it is. Yeah, if you go to the Lord of the Rings film series and you scroll down to, do you even have to open anything up? You don't have to open anything up. It's just there. The three films were shot simultaneously in Jackson's native New Zealand from 11 October 1999 until 22 December of 2000. So New Year's Day, the day time began. Again, it was a Monday. I know that because I was born on a Monday. And I remember I was there. How is one of my favorite films ever, and they started filming it on the first New Year's Day ever? I just can't. I haven't had to. This week has just been so full. Like Wednesday, it felt like Friday, so it's felt like Friday for like 3 days, quite frankly. So I was forgetting who I said hi to. And then this album comes out, and I finally get a song that I like. Love to fucking death, and then I find this out. Like there's too much going on specifically in this week. I'm glad because it's all good stuff, but John Rogers, I'm gonna watch Revenge of the Nerds tomorrow. Just got my DVD today. I want to see that. I've never seen that movie. Doesn't it have oh hell, he was on ER. Cannot think of his name. Green. I don't know if that was a character's name or the actor's name. Okay, anyway, I just, everything just feels weird. Like things like feel good, and I'm not used to things feeling good, so I think that's what's got me thrown off. But let me jump back to, I had the wrong dates written down here too, so that really confused the hell out of me. Back in February the 25th. Because Frank was off on the 24th, he had to do some stuff about the building. So it was just out. We were here. But Tuesday, that's when Frank came on. I already mentioned this, how he's just no longer on Rockfin. They want people to upload exclusively there, and since he was not, they're like, oh, you just can't upload anything here. So whatever, bye. Screw you guys. So I said, this is some bizarre shit, you guys. It really is. Oh, Dusty Blue said, I had a paint on canvas party today for 8-year-olds and friends. It went so well. This Heights Club venue, I used to do events for kids before CB shut down, has a new event coordinator, and yes. Oh, sweet. More events. That is so cool. Yeah, Dusty Blue, like, she'll organize, like, full-ass parties for, like, groups of kids. Like, your kid's having a birthday party, and she comes in, like, she decorates. It's got a theme. There's, like, prizes and, like, stuff to do. It's so, like, it looks fun, and I'm an adult. Like, dude, I want to go. Are there crayons? But it's like say, you know, the kids are going to be entertained while they're there. They're not, like, screwing off and breaking stuff. So, like, they're, like, having fun while they're hanging out. Oh, sweet. Patrick said I will be going to the pub tomorrow. Haven't been out for a couple of weeks. Oh, nice. Have a shot for me. Just checking the battery power. And also, this is going to be, I forget when Frank mentioned it. I just wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget. But there's going to be no more Skype beginning sometime in May. They're just going to axe it. I guess enough people are just not using it. Like, I took the app off of my phone because I don't use it that much. um, but I felt some kind of way when Frank mentioned that, because when I was first talking with people that I met in Anthony Vincent Music, it was on Skype. And when I spoke with, like, say, Gadget Doc last, that was on Skype. So I, like, you know, though I do not use it, I do feel some kind of way about it not being around anymore, for nostalgic reasons. So yeah, if you do have a Skype account, move over to, like, something like Discord. That's totally free. You can also get a free phone number with, oh, let me turn this on. I do have a phone number for the channel. It's 419-359-8869. And let me turn up the notifications just in case. You can call in, and it just comes through on the phone. Nothing pops up on the screen. We're not going to see your, like, first and last name and anything. No, nothing personal like that. And if you have not done so, check out the poll for the movie for us to watch for March. I do have the link in the description there, but let me drop this in the chat room so you don't have to click anywhere else. Good Lord. I think that's it. Right now, it is so close. Right now, it's a Beckett has 21%. Runaway Train has 37%. Donnie Darko and Kill the Irishman both have 21% as well. So right now, it's looking like one Runaway Train, but we've got a little bit of time before the show ends, so you do have a chance to vote. And then I will get that tweeted out, oh, tonight. Since after this, I am live early. If I didn't mention, Frank is, yeah, I think I already did mention, Frank's going to be live at 9 p.m. doing a kind of family show, just kicking it there. You're a dumb too said, when I feel down or in a slump, I say this to make myself. I feel happy. I feel healthy. I feel terrific. Usually like 20 times does it. Well, that's good. Dusty Blue will be so funny if Frank gets a hold of Susie baking over Jay to cook to cook it. Yeah, he needs. When are we gonna get when's Jay just gonna be sitting there just kind of sad while he like tears the lid off of the whole box of Chips Ahoy's? That'd be cute. Is it not focusing on me? Stop acting up. See, I'm in a good mood and you're being a dick. You don't have to act up just because the sun's in a water sign. Anyway, Tuesday, that's when it was Roseanne was on with forgive me, I forget the one chick's like I know her name was Liz. Did not get the last name, so sorry about that. And then also Mel K. And like she's also got this guy there who just kind of hangs out in the back and looks at his phone. I guess his name is Rob. Uh we'll have to call him something because you can't just be Rob. We've got Kung Fu Rob. So he needs like another name, like Soundboard Rob, because what happened was it was going to quite frankly should not be this physically active, but I feel like for like about an hour and a half, all I did was like take my hat on and off and mute and unmute the show while talking. And so I could barely take notes. That's why, yeah, I barely have notes for that day. You are dumb too said, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That's true. Oh, that's it. Thank you, Lizard. Liz Crokin. Liz Crokin. Pardon me if I'm saying that wrong. I'm not saying it wrong incorrectly. Patrick said, anyone seen In Bruges? Quite a funny film. I've got that saved because you brought it up before. I'm gonna just have to watch that on my own sometime. I didn't know it was funny. This was a cool interview because, well, for Roseanne's part, when she got a chance to speak and no one interrupted her, I liked what she was saying. And this is the one she had like that black beret on with some kind of like sparkly silver embellishments. It was like bees or flies, something like that. Danny Crokin. Yeah, I don't think it'd be like she let like a dead like croaked like a dead person. She was very much alive. She had both her and Roseanne had like a very dark, like almost burgundy, maybe like a deep magenta, like lipstick. Sort of like in the 90s when like women wore a shade of lipstick just a few shades too dark, but darker than that, but not in an off-putting way, if that makes sense. Sort of like how back in the 80s they would take a high heel shoe and just make the tip a different color. It looks completely retarded. But then if you jump ahead to something like 2010 when like shoes were this tall, if you take a tall platform shoe and just make the tip a different color, it's fabulous as fuck. It's show stopping, but just that height difference. Dusty Blue Cereal Mom with Kathleen Turner. Oh my god, hilarious. I've heard of that. I don't know if I've seen it. Let me write that down. Or if I like, when you see something as a kid, and you never go back to it. So I don't know. Like, I want to say I have, but I honestly can't tell you one thing about it. Or you are dumb too said, there is little difference in people, but that little difference makes a big difference. The little difference is attitude, big difference is whether it is positive or negative. If right on. But what happened was Mel K was not feeling well, so she's in another room where there was an earthquake going on. Because I'm not going to do it to you because all the time you just saw like the camera like she was holding. It was always I never how do you I don't know what's wrong with you to move something around that much. Like I take caffeine anyway, so if I can be like jangly and move like that, that's natural. So I don't know what about feeling under the weather makes you get this friggin' Alzheimer's shake. But so there was an earthquake in Florida. Florida. And then anytime anybody spoke, Mel had her microphone right by her mouth and just, uh-huh, yeah, uh-huh, right, yeah, mm-hmm, yeah, whoa, and on top of that, talking over everybody. Or like Frank asked a question and then Mel answered, and then finally got around to asking everybody else, and everybody else got spoken over. So that was the frustrating part. I want to hear everybody in turn. You don't need the uh-huh, uh-hums, because we can hear all of that. So I don't know. It kind of felt like somebody's first time being on camera when I know they were not. So I don't know why it was so rude. By the time the interview was over, I expected somebody to come into the room with Frank. I'm not like just PTSD with tinnitus. You keep hearing sounds. You're just, the tinnitus makes you expect to keep hearing them. You can't, it's not something you can physically stop. It's because you keep hearing these repeated sounds. It was her fault for interrupting everybody, but I honestly expected anybody in Frank's life to walk into that room and interrupt him anytime he spoke for the rest of the show. And then when Frank took calls, I'm like, now when you call in, can you have somebody else in the room with you to interrupt you every time you start speaking? Like, I honestly expected that. I was so pissed off about it. I told 3 people about it the next day in real life. And then I was expecting it at the next show. It's just, it was just so rude. Just be quiet when other people are speaking. We're not going to forget you're there. We're not. Your name is literally in the title of the show. We've seen you at least twice. Can I get that interview re-edited with just Roseanne? Like, nothing against Liz and Rob, but I want to hear what Roseanne was saying. And the thing that pissed me off, and you can't, there's no coming back from this, is when Roseanne was talking about Chris Farley, who I love, and got interrupted. Like, I want to punch something so bad right now just thinking about that. How do you, I can't even words. How do you interrupt somebody when they're talking about Chris Farley? I'm never going to not be mad about that. I could exist for another billion million years and I will be mad about that. Not the fact that he died, the fact that somebody interrupted Roseanne when she's trying to talk about this man. Because there's only so much information we can get about him online. I'm just always going to, there's nothing that's going to make me not be mad about that. It's changing the subject, or I'm just going to go. See, that's how mad I am. Pardon any sync issues. Can't even check the battery power. And I rarely scream in the chat room, but some things, it's hard to cross the line with me because I can be very forgiving, but once you do, there's zero chance of coming back. And I could handle the interruptions and the shaky cam and the noise and the tinnitus, but interrupting somebody when they're telling a Chris Farley story, unforgivable. You're dumb too said, has King 40 been on since Roseanne was on, quite frankly? Oh, has he? That's a good question. Dusty Blue said, Nikki, when are you, Frank, and King going to be on Zoso's Hollywood Square game this month? Yeah, all right. So March 22nd at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That is going to be on pilled.net. It's Coffee Talk with Sandra. And this is going to be, it's called Foxhole Squares, but it's Hollywood Squares on Foxhole. So that's all that is. That's going to be in 2 weeks from now, I want to say. Not next week, the week after. Yeah. So I'm going to do a live show here at the regular time. And then, yeah, it's in 2 weeks. And then we'll pop over there to that. And maybe next week I'm gonna ask Oso Dude what's about because I have not seen the real Hollywood Squares. I just know of it. So that's gonna be um it's gonna be fun. It's like I don't want to know too much about it now because then I'll anticipate it too much and then sort of overthink it. So if I just like learn a little bit and dive in, it'll be fun. So it's just it's good that I don't know now because again I learned fast, so I can find out everything in say an hour, half an hour, 20 minutes, and act like I've known it the whole time. Like, oh, I've known this for years now. It's just so just fake it. It'll be fun though. It'll be good. Dusty Blue, thanks for asking. The lizards, yeah, I remember you're frustrated. Yeah, it's just after an hour and a half of just like the interruption and the shaky cam and just the muting and unmuting and just like looking away and just look like I'm trying to watch the show. I'm trying to see everybody else, and it's like thankfully Frank did not keep everybody on the screen all the time because otherwise it would just seem like shaky cam the whole time and then like a still shot over here. And I was tired that day. Why was I tired that day? That's asking too much, but I just was not. I remember being sleepy beforehand, and I had some coffee so I could make sure to like be awake for it because Roseanne's gonna be on, and honey, I needed it. Oh my god, that was such a fucking trial to get through. And then at the very end of it, all the shakiness and loudness and rudeness, and then you want to interrupt the Chris Farley story. Like here's somebody who has zero respect for comedy if you're interrupting a Chris Farley story. Like the only thing I know about Frank's guests are when they're on the show. So like yeah, you're free to look into them. I just don't, and I don't mean that as an insult. But I just know them from, what you should be able to, like say, get viewers just off of one appearance. Like, you should be able to get followers after, like, dropping one song. You should be able to get people who like your acting after one movie. So I shouldn't have to know your entire catalog. I don't know, for regular shows, always like that. And how are you friends with somebody who doesn't like comedy? How are you somebody, like, I know Roseanne does a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong. She's a living legend, full stop. But like if first and foremost people knew her as a comedian. So how do you hang out with somebody like that? That'd be like hanging out with a musician, but interrupting them every single time they like try to sing or play an instrument. I just can't. Oh yeah, Patrick. Yeah, I think we copied it, but it was called Celebrity Squares here in Britain. Yeah, yeah. I gotta have it called like a Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone. Gotta call it something else. Okay, great interview except for some things. I was going to talk about that the whole night. All right, get off it. Get off it. And this is a rule. Somebody brought something up, so I thought this is just a rule I thought of in case you like talk to NPCs in real life. Before they start talking to you, tell them, okay, we can have a conversation, but you can't talk about anything you saw on the news. Or just if they're like, say, a TV watcher, like, yeah, we can talk, but we can't talk about anything you saw on TV. So they can really talk about, I don't know, like food and real life stuff. Hit them with that and see if they have anything to say. Like, yeah, we can talk, but you can't say anything political. And I do want to say this real quick since I'm just, it's been going on for weeks now and it's getting worse. And so I just have to say something. I said something in the comments that I really don't get this way with Gray Still Plays, but his editor just needs to stop. Like, stop with the Florida Man coffee. I don't know what you're doing, but every single time there's a movement or an action or something hits something else, there does not need to be a sound effect. Like, are you trying to get a raise? We're not supposed to notice the sign of a good editor is when we do not notice the editing. And all I do is notice the editing for the first 7 minutes of a 20-minute video. Not everyone, but specifically certain ones. It's like, you know what? I could look away and still be able to keep up with what's going on because there's going to be a sound effect every time Gray's car bumps something. It's been a great week. It's just like a few things that just kind of, you know what, it's been going on too long. I've got to say something. So this man just needs to, well, like, put him on probation. Because first it's that watery sound effect, which just pisses me off to no end. And that now you're doing this. Like, you've got one more shot for me to start cursing your ass. This is two. And there's nothing wrong. Like, the boards are great. Gray's playing is great. His commentary is great. The color's great. But then you give it to the editor. You don't have to meme up the channel. Gray's channel does not need to be memey. He's good enough. His content is good enough. His channel is growing. You don't have to be gimmicky. You're cheapening his channel, Zach. I assume the guy's in Florida. And then, who told me to look up the melon heads of Ohio? It's like a cryptid. Basically, it's these people with these giant stewie heads, and then somebody probably just went into the woods and fucked one, and they just like live off in the woods, and then they get around like Ohio and Michigan, and is it Connecticut? Like tunnels, because there's like tunnels and caves everywhere. That's how these cryptids get around. So that's what that is. It's just guys will fuck anything, plus tunnels equals cryptids. Yeah, that is the day we did find out about Michelle Trachtenberg. Again, just scrolling through Tumblr, like, what? Why did you have to be right about that, Tumblr? Oh, we had that's when we had Diamond and the lady looked like Tara from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I think I was just had Buffy on the brain because Michelle Trachtenberg had just died, but this chick just looks like Amber Benson, I think the actress's name is. She's a Capricorn, so it made me think that that girl's a Capricorn as well because somebody said she looked like Uma Thurman, who's a Taurus. So just those two guesses right there. I assume that lady's an Earth sign. She's the one who was calling astrology. I forget her exact word for it. Hokey, you know. So that was not her word, but she just doesn't really quite believe in it, which is fine. That's her, you know, prerogative. But the room Diamond was sitting in, so the room he's sitting in looks like a looks like a catastrophe. It looks, I mean, it looked like he was sitting in an episode of Hoarders. It was a lot of stuff. And what was this? Something about there's some kind of phenomena in the sky, and their word for it is Steve. Like, you look up into the sky and think Steve. Like Steve 1989 MRE info. Who's like Steve in the sky with diamonds was not catchy. And that's when she was the one saying that something about how gravity is electric. And at first I thought that was dumb, but then I thought about it for a second. It actually makes perfect sense because before there was electricity, people could just fly around everywhere. And as you know, whenever the power goes out, everything just floats away. So, ah, that actually makes sense. I'm glad she said something. Now, this is Wednesday the 27th. I've been noticing this for maybe about a week, but usually when you say something on YouTube, it will, like right now, I've got 7:24 because it does not do the 24-hour clock. So it's 7:24. If I would have typed something and hit enter, the timestamp would say 7:24. It wouldn't back it up a minute to say 7:23 like it usually does. It's putting in the correct time. I don't know why, but it has been. It's not giving notifications on time, but it's putting in the time for the comments correctly. And timestamps, you can turn those on and off. I just feel more comfortable having the times next to them. Oh shit, that was so bad. Gene whacked man. Last word said. Yeah. And then the whole Gene Hackman thing is so like the more we hear about it, the more suspicious it sounds. It's kind of sounded to me like when like say an episode of Law and Order or a crime murder movie, like the beginning of it. Oh, okay, here's an old man who's just dead. That wouldn't be suspicious, but all this other stuff around him is, and then like add to it, and then you got like a whole movie or whole episode. That's what this is feeling like. It's feeling like a Hollywood movie. Um, or like they think wife died first, but then why are there pills all over the place if she had some kind of disease? It's all weird, very sus. Cannibalizing AIDS folks in the Congo. Oh yeah, people are getting sick in the Congo. I guess when you're eating people that have AIDS, you will have that happen. And anytime any of these viruses start, they always say it's because of, like a bat bite or something. Like it's always a bat that starts it. So what is this anti-bat, anti-vampire narrative going on at MSM? But they hate vampires. I hate when I write down a note and I have absolutely no idea the context. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, this is a good term for it. Medically induced AIDS. Instead of calling it something else. Oh. I wish I would have got that. I didn't come up with that. Somebody else did. I wish I would have gotten their name because it's a really good one. I keep looking at the clock. It's so weird to be live a half an hour earlier. I don't know if this was a typo. This was on Friday. But Wayne says hi to everybody at the start of the show, and I don't think it was like a lot of people were filing in, so it's not like he was like rushing to say hi to people. But he said, "Hello, anyone." I'm thinking that's good. That covers absolutely anybody who could come in ever. So hello, anyone. That was too cute. And whatever we were talking about at the show, this was last word again. But we were talking about something else, but then this came up. And he agreed. He said, let's talk about how great Phil Hartman was. And I'm thinking, hell yeah, man. So I don't know if Frank brought him up or if we brought him up in the chat room. Uh, Something like that. Because you never heard anything bad about anything bad Phil Hartman ever did. Like I've watched a little bit of documentaries about him. Danny LOL Wade is cool. Yeah, Wade is totally chill. That was cute when he called in that one time. I love when he became a moderator because it went the whole episode went by, leave, come back the very next day, and there's Wayne. When did I become a moderator? I was like yesterday, like 24 hours ago. Literally the same spot we're sitting in right now. Yeah, just pardon me with this. Uh, yeah, if you don't know what happened, I think everybody knows how Phil Hartman passed away, even if you don't say care or are not interested in how people expire. But it's been so long, it is kind of common knowledge. But what might not be, and that this is not hard to find out, but yeah, his wife had a drug problem and she was getting cleaned up, but then she was hanging out with her friend Andy Dick, and that dude is all about partying. I did read, I forget when, I forget the name of it, But it was Kathy Griffin's book. This was over 10 years ago, and even she was talking about him doing drugs and other folks offering her drugs. She's not a drug doer, but you know, that's Hollywood, they just offer it to you. Anyway, so there's Andy Dick hanging out with Phil Hartman's wife, getting her back on the stuff. And she's all high and paranoid, and next thing you know, we don't have Phil Hartman. So if you miss Phil Hartman, be mad at Andy Dick. And then there is a story about John Lovitz, I want to say. They were both backstage somewhere, and there's Andy Dick getting cocky, talking about, I'm the guy who gave the stuff to Phil Hartman's wife. You know, basically, he's the one who killed Phil Hartman in a roundabout way. And they had to hold John Lovitz back. Like, dude was ready to, like, straight up murder this dude for killing his friend. What's up, Erica? So, yeah, just let you know there's somebody, like, I'm not gonna sit here and like say I'm gonna like celebrate if I hear that of that man's passing, but I'm certainly not going to be sad about it one bit. And if you know anything about what happened with Heath Ledger, he's like low-key involved around that too. Just saying. Now, I'm not saying go out there and harass the man or anything like that. I would never, not even low key, like say to don't contact these. Like that's not cool. Don't harass anybody online, celebrity or no. But that's just information to know and pass along. Now saying that, I'm not the kind of person where like you hear about somebody overdosing and they want to throw like the dope man in jail. The dope man didn't like hold down your son or daughter or whoever and get them high. They did that on their own. You just wanted somebody to punish because you weren't there to help them. So I'm not for like say punishing the person that got somebody high. But if you know for a fact somebody has a drug problem and you're specifically giving them that drug, that's worse than like just selling the stuff. You're like you just giving it to somebody because you know it's going to be a problem. Oh no, yeah, King 40 has called in because I wrote down a note. King 40 called in on Friday. He sounded like a drunk Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and I'm sure he doesn't know that show. That's not an insult. It's just different generations. But he should check out Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I don't know if Carl ever got drunk on the show, but they have a similar accent. Yeah, yeah, no more Skype. That's when that happened. There we go. Well, not until you still got Skype until like May, middle of May, something like that. And would be king notes. Okay. Yeah, that was Friday, and then we came here and did the. Oh my god! I watched my own show today for the Man Who Would Be King from last week. Um, like the part when I was saying it, like at the time, I thought I was struggling so bad and it was gonna suck. And then I watch it back and I had to keep replaying it because I was cracking myself up. It's like a minute, maybe a minute and a half long. When I talked about the part where I'm like, dude, I would have killed her. Hear me out. It's like, yeah, she was just ugly. That's just that's why I did that. I can't do it justice. I can't say I can't like say film myself and then like say watch it back and then try to like spoof it and redo it for like a take two like live. I can't do things twice, so I can't as much as I would like to like say it the way I said it last week. I can't. And then, yeah, that's why she had to die right there. That's it's almost like it's low key reminds me of like maybe an excuse like Ray Still Plays would make for like having to kill off a character in a video game. It just like the logic of the moment dictates that I have to do these things. I'm a god. I have to keep up appearances. Oh, wait, what? Yeah. Cause I'm just struggling with my notes because Frank does his Monday shows. I did show up Monday, but I didn't say Oh, okay, maybe this is where like the separation between the 11 a.m. show and the 7 p.m. show. I think I got it though. Yeah. Yeah, again, if somebody's on camera and the microphone can pick them up, and you're not the person on camera, shut up and be quiet. Other people can hear you. Don't move things around, don't make noise, don't hum, don't press buttons, just be quiet until the recording is over. Everybody in the Franklyverse is old enough to know that. And it was the 3rd. This was on March 3rd. That's Kung Fu Rob's birthday. That's the Rob that everybody talks about, we never see. Gonna almost start to forget. He's the guy. He always wears plaid, no matter what. He's always like rocking his lumberjack plaid, and then other guests come on the show like cosplaying as him. That's what that is. And then that's when Frank was saying he's got his Saturday show tonight. And then at some point, I did have to run over to quitefrankly.tv and scroll down real fast to check what time the Saturday show was for Frank, and then get the fuck out of there because it plays a video right away, which plays an ad that you cannot mute, that you cannot pause. I hate that. I've hated that since the 90s. Don't let me show up to your site and have it start playing, like making sound right away. If I have to reach for the mute button or the volume button, I'm just Xing out. I don't want to be there. If you're just throwing sound in my face, you can go fuck yourself. God, I hate. Like, I see why they do that. That is so annoying. Got through it though. I was ready to hit mute. I was going to do it for you guys just so I would know, because Frank never says what time he's going to be live on his show. He just expects people to know it, and I have to know it for work, so my need to know is a little bit more urgent. But at the same time, I'm not like going back, I'm not like DMing him for like times and things like that. Okay. Oh, I forget who it was. I didn't write it down. But like the callers kept asking, was it the callers or the guests? But they kept asking questions. Don't ask us questions. This happened. Why would it do that? Why do you think? Never. I just don't understand why you would get on a phone call, get through to Frank, and then start asking him questions and sit there silently waiting for an answer. Oh, Patrick, yeah, if you use Brave browser, you get no ads. Yeah, that's he has said that, and I'm sure that I do have Brave, but whenever I use YouTube, I'm always on the app. Um, yeah, I had to try that. You know what? Now that you're saying that, that's given me an idea to make, because I've always wanted to make a playlist of songs that are not monetized, but then it would break my heart when I had to take one out because one became monetized. But now I can make a video of. Can I do that? Can I play my playlists through Brave and not get ads? Dude, like light from heaven, angels coming down. Thank you for saying that, Patrick. Holy, it just finally clicked for me. I know I've heard that before. And my head doesn't hurt. I'm just touching my bobby pin. Sorry. Damn. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Now this is what I was gonna do. Hermes. Hermes. That word is not pronounced the way it looks. Even though in this town I think there's like it's not like Hermes from Futurama, even though it might be spelled the same way. If you see that word in the wild, it's pronounced like the fashion house. The H is silent, and the last S is a Z. You don't say that. I know I'm just bringing that up because Frank brought it up on the show, and like I'm kind of glad if he knew that, if he could say Hermes right, I'd be like, who taught you that word? So yeah, and I'm sure there's like maybe like a line over the E, or like some fancy French way, but we don't do that. Just say it the right way. You'll get through it. Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, I'm not sure, but like theoretically, like it would work. I'll have to try it. I'll just have to take a video I know is monetized. I know a video that's monetized, Bad Romance, because this was back when I know it was winter of one year, but the Bad Romance video was gonna get 1 billion views. So there I was, like steady, like watching it over and over again for about a week to make sure it got up there. So like I sort of like learned some of the dance and the sort of know some of the you watch it. I'm not a dancer, but if I watch something long enough, I'll pick things up. Oh, Shane said this. I have to spell it. Gonorrhea, spelled Ghana, second word Rhea, like it's a place. Maybe there's a Rhea in Ghana, and that's where it comes from. Who knows? Maybe it is now. Yeah, that's we had the dude. The guys were on the show. Patriot Protect. And I was just kind of being silly. I'm like, okay, well, what if your name is something like John Johnson? Aren't you like basically safe? Because, there's probably got to be a billion people with that same first and last name. How are they going to specifically find you? I don't know if the question was quite that long, but something like that. And the guy called me out. He's like, yeah, Nikki Carlin just asked this. I'm like, what he said? And I wasn't in trouble. So it's like, because usually I hear your name, it's because you fucked up. But it's like, oh my God, he answered my question. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of just, like, I wasn't, trolling him. I was just kind of being serious. It just sounded very silly. But if you're Aaron Aronson, how many of there are there? Oh, Patrick said, yeah, I think the only ads that work are the host ads. Yeah, I'll try it out. I'll have to try it out with different videos just to see. Just to see. Because what I end up doing is I will play just like a regular ass physical CD when I have to take my pearl powder and put it into little empty pill capsules because they sent me like a bag of the loose powder, which monetarily is in my favor. But then I had to go and order these pills and I have to fill them up individually. And it's just, I can only do about 7 at a time just because like it's nerve wracking. But I can't say, I've got to have gloves on for, because it's powder. So I can't just be like hitting buttons on remotes to like skip songs. So I've just got to put in a CD so I don't have to press any other buttons. And like, like, cause where I do it at, like the screen's right there. So I can have movement and all that stuff. But yeah, like with that in mind, I could just play like some songs that don't have movement in the video. And I would have to go through the Brave browser on my TV's internet app. It'd be like a lot of work, but if it works, it would be worth it. So I'm glad you gave me that idea. Oh, sure, this was so funny at the time. I can't recall why though. Jason Burmis, who I didn't realize had gray hair until like his last time he was on. I'm like, wait, this guy has gray hair? What is he like 41 or something? What the hell? What's he doing with gray hair on the show? And no, I was saying he would be on the show more if he would just shave all of his hair off. But something about Jason Burmis fell out of a window. All I can remember is like because his background is I don't know if it's real. Like it must be a green screen, but like it has like a super slow moving text on the screen. And let that be a lesson to anybody who has to have a fucking scroll at the bottom of the screen for the whole fucking 5 hours or however long they're on the screen for. It just like it doesn't have to move at all. You could have a stationary, that'd be perfectly fine. But it moves so slow that it's really not going to cause that much eye strain. I don't understand what this is. What is it with women who do podcasts? I think they've got to have like a scroll at the bottom of the screen, like for the whole time, just words going by so fast you can't even read them for the whole frig. I can't even hold my hand up straight to do it. It's so. Who told you to do that, woman? At what point when you were making my sandwich did you think that was going to be a good idea? Also, where is my sandwich? Now, some dude just asked, he was kind of like new. I've never really seen that name in there before, but they asked, what's the chat like, observant? And I said, we see everything. And somebody else said we're too observant, but I don't know if that's a bad thing. And someone mentioned time travel, or maybe time travel like it insofar as if you travel back in time and get stuck there. Don't freak out, don't freak out. Just go with the flow and things will play out in such a way that you are able to get home. If that's what I've learned from any time travel movies, TV, that kind of a thing. It'll work out. You're back there for a reason. You'll figure it out. You'll get home. Tuesday was March 4th, and the reason why that stands out is the fella who deciphered hieroglyphs, Jean Francois Champollion. That's the day he passed away. This fella was a Capricorn, and he didn't live. I read a book about him years ago, and of course I've forgotten most of it now, but it was a very good book. I think it was called The Keys to Egypt. But here's a guy, he lived to like maybe his early 40s, and he did not live to be an old man. And dude was just sick all of the time. He got over one illness, he was sick with something else. He got over that, he got the first illness again. He got over that, he got a third kind of like, so dude was just always, had the most sick days. But he was, a smart guy, wanted to like, learn and study, be educated. And, his brother helped him out, that kind of a thing. And this guy went and he learned all of the obscure languages to try to figure out what the hell hieroglyphs were. He finally figures it out one day, runs over to his brother's house and just like collapses on the floor. Dude had like a hella fever. He could have died, but he kind of comes, back to, like consciousness enough to. Patrick, yeah, he was the goat. Like the from the Rosetta Stone to what we know now, it's because of this man. But yeah, fell out, could have died right there, but he finally like wakes up enough to like tell his brother, like I finally figured it out. I figured out hieroglyphs. So like he actually like goes and, people take him seriously. We know what they mean now. He had a like a thing about Napoleon, like he sort of always wanted to meet him. Oh, Jenna, glad you made it. And like I want to say like the story is they did get to meet exactly one time. Uh yeah, like oh my god, I get to meet my hero, and it's literally like, oh, you decipher hieroglyphs, right? It's like, yeah, yes sir. It's like, good work for France. Got stuff to do. I'm Napoleon. Get out of here. It was like literally, high and by kind of a thing. Oh, good. When did I think I read that book like 20 years ago, so it's been a minute. Again, it was very good. But yeah, that's the day he passed away. I'm sure he's fine now. Frank was wearing his Tommy Boy Callahan Auto Parts shirt. People always ask about that shirt. At least one person will ask about that shirt. They like, you can buy one. They're on Amazon right now. It's not like there's an actual shop. It's a fictional place. The Callahan Auto Parts in Sandusky, Ohio. At least that part is fictional. So it's not like it's an official shirt from a website. You can just buy it. But I like that color green. You don't have that color green on the screen, so it's sort of like a palette cleanser from all like the yellows and blues and pinks and reds and black and I don't know what this was. The intro song, whatever it was, it sounded like music from the video game Parasite Eve. That game was, I want to say it was from 1998. Yeah, PlayStation, OG PlayStation. I don't think it was PlayStation 2. That's where we learn about mitochondria. If you don't know what mitochondria is, just play that video game and it will teach you. That's how I learned. You don't have to go to school. You can play video games and learn about science. That game, the one thing I remember about it that is frustrating is while your character can run, like you do not move very quickly across the screen. So it's like for all of this, and you're just barely like moving away. So it's like one slight thing that I can remember from 25 plus years ago. That's really the only bad thing. You can sort of like fly around and look around New York City, like Manhattan. The two towers were still there, so that was nifty. A little helicopter flying around. If you can recall what video game graphics were like in the late 90s on PlayStation, so like that. And then Zoso Dude came in. I always forget that it's earlier where he is, so he's just getting off of work when Frank's starting. But he'd said hi to me, and then he said he just like hit a car in front of him. So I said it was the other car's fault. And Zoso Dude said, well, it's I was saying hi to you, meaning me, so it was my fault. It's like I still say it's the other guy's fault. But you do have to be more careful when the sun is in a water sign around me. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring a curse on people. But just be careful. I can't. If there was a way to protect people from things like that, I would do it. Don't know how. Don't know if that's even possible. All I can do is apologize for it. I can make it up to you know what? It'll be fine when I go onto the foxhole squares. It'll be fine. I didn't do that to him on purpose. So we had a fella on. His name was Joe Mooney, and one of the Franklies they're like, whoa, that was like my brother's name, and it's like, whoa. And I guess they had passed away, so it's like, oh, R.I.P. That's like that's so creepy to see the exact same names up there. But he had a copper cup, and he said this, or Frank said, like he's either friends with or should like get in touch with Matt Copper, Cultivate Elevate Matt. Brenda said, hi everyone. I had to take a phone call, so I missed the Roseanne recap. I didn't see much of it yet. Yeah, go watch the Tuesday, the 25th, February 25th episode. Watch that first. Otherwise, I might have spoiled it. Right, and now 2 shows to go back. I mean, like, or you can like skip all that and just watch what I said. But like, there are a few literal few times in that hour and a half when Roseanne got to speak uninterrupted, and it was nice to hear from her. And I said this at the time. Other people said this at the time too. I'm like, can we get just Roseanne on solo? Can we get Liz on just solo? I was not the only person who said that. Oh, Brenda, awesome, yeah. And Roseanne is so chill for all that stuff going on around her. She's just like sitting there, like totally chill, totally cool. People like speaking over her. Very professional. And at one point, like the sound was fine, and then Rob gets up, like leaves, and suddenly we can't hear Roseanne. He comes back. We're like, what the fuck? Who told you to do that? He fixed it. He fixed it. It's like, thank you. Can you just go back to looking at your phone, guy? He's literally like sitting I'm not gonna sit the well, he had black shorts on. I'm not trying to give you a shot like that, but it just looked like full on, like legs open. And here's him. I don't know if he was reading the chat room, but it's like, oh well, I'm not gonna stop saying what I'm saying. It's different. It's totally different. Ronnie, yeah, she's a great interviewee. Yeah, Roseanne's the best. But a caller called in, and his name was Shane, and so for about a minute or two, we thought it was like our Shane, Shane B, and he said it's not me, and so I said the caller should have apologized for not being Shane B. Call back in. I'm so sorry, Frank. I'm not who you think I am. Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. That was the first Wednesday of the month, so we were going to go to Morning Sickness Matt afterwards, Matt Christensen. But that's when Frank was wearing this. It was a long sleeve black shirt, and it had like like when you have like a little bit of a zipper here, and then it had like some kind of weird like if you had a pocket that went like that away, like not up and down, but like a sideways pocket because the zipper was like right here. It was shiny black material though, like no logo, nothing like that. A very let's say form fitting. He could have gone down a size. That would have looked great. So yeah, hot shirt. And then I don't know why I was so in and out of it, but it's like I was kind of like I was hearing every other word that the guest was saying or the caller, whoever was speaking, but they were talking about like making your own nation, like just like stating that it's a place, sort of a thing. But all I gathered from it is if you want to like say start your own nation, you have to maybe give it a proper title, something along a lot the lines of the peaceful nation of Franklyville. Put that on a sign. Like, you're now entering this huge ass long title like you're somewhere in Wales. And again, I don't know what was said, but Quincy's Finest said, I overstand what he's saying. Like, whatever this dude was saying, the guy had made his point, and then dude made this comment. I'm like, yeah, I get you. Now there is a sort of a pledge of allegiance for the chat room. I remember recording this because it's something we did like last year, maybe in February. I had to do I was reading it off the screen. I had to record my voice on my phone. This is before I had I didn't know I was gonna have a channel then. So that is something that exists. I just have to go back on my phone and find it. But we're citizens of the chat room. Actually just got a weird shout out. It's because I've got YouTube to let me know if somebody say like tags me somewhere on YouTube, it gives me a notification, and I had one of those from I've never seen this person's name before. I'm like, what? So I tap it, and it's a huge list, like this many names, just tagging these random people. Some of them are silly. I just had never seen these names before. Like, okay. And then his post is this big long post talking about just shouting out smaller pages and just want to give people like a hand up and just like saying like, hey, I see you, little guy, kind of a thing. Like, shout outs are good in general anyway. So that was really cool of him, like, because I don't know this person. I don't know where he heard of me. He even says in his thing, he's like, some of these people I know from places. Some of these names I just Google search. Maybe they specifically search for like channels with like say below 500 sub count and shout them out. I don't know what their stick is, but he shouted me out. So I just wanted to say thank you. I'm like, thanks. I'm from the quite frankly chat room, and Frankly's come kick it on my show sometime. I've never heard of this guy before. I did thank you. So that was cool. I like that, and I am like this channel is huge right now because it does have what is it? Unless it went down, yeah, 222 subscribers. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of folks to me. So thanks for that. And it happens through the week again. Like I'll do nothing in the middle of the week and get subscribers. I think that's so cute. Uh, yeah, 222 votes or subscribers. Almost working up to I'm gonna say super chats, but I already took care of that. What was this guy? This dude's his name was yeah, Lizard. Yeah, it'll keep growing. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm sort of like I don't expect like a huge blow up, but like I've got to get say like maybe two more subscribers after I do the Hollywood Foxhole Squares thing. Who knows? That's how people get noticed, right? You do sort of like guest spots on other channels, and then people watch that, and then they subscribe to you, and then your viewer count goes up. So it just like logically, without even trying, like that should happen, I guess. Patrick said, "We all love you, Nikki. You're spot on. Yeah, thank you." I didn't say, I probably should have said, but yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of me uploading videos to this channel. Because I had left my job, I couldn't take it anymore, but I sort of, I guess just being a Capricorn, I always have to have like a project going on. I didn't realize I always sort of bite off more than I can chew, but then I can't let myself down, so then I go through with it. But it just felt right, and I uploaded my first video, and at that very second, I realized I knew jack shit about thumbnails, and I'm just learning as I go, because I could not read anything about a channel because my eyes were so bad, my ears were so bad. It was just everything was so bad a year ago, and then jump ahead a year, and I think it's like the universe is sort of thanking me for the work I've been doing. I mean, like you guys do too. I'm thankful every day that I have a channel, that I get to see you guys and go to, quite frankly. And sorry for getting mushy right here in the middle of it, but I do feel like since I got How Bad Do You Want Me on the anniversary of uploading to my channel, it's sort of like the universe, like, hey, we see what you're doing. You're doing the right thing, which like I know that, but it's different to have. Again, I've got, like, you guys are proof that I've done anything good in my entire life, but then I get something just completely disconnected from any of us, which is just a song by an artist that I've liked for a lot of years. It's just like it made me cry. It took so long to just get through the song one time all the way through without stopping, because like, oh damn, this is hitting me too hard, tears. So if you go into things with good intentions, like don't go into things thinking I need to make so much money doing this, or I need to have like so much back return back to me for my efforts. Like don't go into things like thinking about what you're going to get back. Think like go into things thinking about what you can do and what you can put out there for people. And then if good things come back to you, that's just the universe thanking you for it. So I think that's how it works. If you go into something with good intentions, you get good back, versus if you go into something to just like, I just want to start a YouTube channel just to make money. It's like, okay, yeah, you might just make money, but how good is your content going to be? Are you just clickbait? Are you just memeing? What are you doing? The lizard, yeah, I get you, my fellow Capricorn. Yeah, it's like, I just want to chill and do nothing. It's like, but let me organize this first. But wait, how about this? And like, where's that list of stuff I wanted to? You just can't. Like, am I being a responsible adult, or am I just being a Capricorn and just adding too much onto it? It's good to keep active. It's good to have a routine, even if you don't say have to physically be in a place to, punch a clock and listen to assholes for 8 hours and then go home and be a human. I like when I get off topic because I can't find my spot. All right, I wrote down this. It must have been something Dusty Blue said. Is that an I? Guest chair upstairs after the interview ends. I wish I would have written down the context. I'm sure that was hilarious. You know, maybe it's funny out of context with nothing around it, watching this back, but in the moment, Patrick said, "You make us all feel comfortable, and that's a blessing." Oh, thank you. Yeah. Because it is so awkward being online, just having to take a cold machine and putting like life into it by speaking with people. There's a huge disconnect, but I know I really felt it back in 2015. It's so, you know, like you actually like touch your equipment and it's actually cold, but then you're actually communicating with like real, like warm people, you know, unless you're living somewhere cold. So it's trying to make the internet feel more like a real place because it is a real place for me. It's not um it might be different if I had like these things in real life. I might have not have to seek them out online, but since I can have basically a second chance at life online, I like to make it seem like bigger than other people see it because that's the way I see it. Like you don't realize, like yes, we can communicate with anybody on the planet, and that's an awesome thing, but it has more potential than that. It's just like the way we can connect with people in ways that you can't through a letter or a movie or a TV show. You can actually like talk to actual physical real people in other parts of the world as if they were your neighbor, and you know, trying to make the world seem like smaller in a good way, smaller in a way that people are more connected when we're made to feel that we're not connected and we're so different. We have more in common with each other than we do not have in common. And they, you know, like the world tries to tell us we're all so different and separate and everybody's an island, and that's not the truth. I don't know what that means. But yeah, this guy's website or whatever he's known as is onestupidfuck.com. I know he has a real name, but I wrote down Brandon Pickle because he legitimately had a pickle on his wall. Oh, Lizard said, "Keep being your authentic self." Yeah, thank you. That's what it is. Find out what you're good at and just do that better than anybody else. I don't know what that thing is, but find it. It'll come to you. When you're younger, you think you get to a certain age and things make sense. Some stuff does, but a lot of stuff does. Like there's always like no matter how much you learn, there's still like more mystery to life. That's one interesting. Like you can be 90, like you're still not going to have it all figured out. You'll know a lot more, but there's still more that you realize you don't know that you want to learn. Brenda said, first time peer to peer sharing of info, not just a trickle from the powers that be. Yeah, you can get like real information from real people. That's why, who's that kid? Something Carol? The young guy who goes around like to like these real places and real countries where maybe there's a war going on, and he just finds some random folks on the street like, hey man, what the fuck's going on up the road there? And they let him know, they tell him like, well, the media want you to think this, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing. And he's like, holy shit, for real? And he's like, what, 18, 19 years old? That guy. And there was this dude. Now, this is when, I don't know if this was Morning Sickness Mad or if this was still on Quite Frankly, but there's this one dude. This might have been Quite Frankly. He looked like, somebody said he looked like Danny Trejo's uncle. He did, though. Nick Shirley. Yeah, I had that name dead on, didn't I? Shirley, Carol, yeah. Nick Shirley. What the hell was I thinking of? Mike John Sideburns? Yeah, yeah, keeping all the, you know, no disrespect for me not remembering. That's just my bad memory. It's like I can see his face mostly. That guy, the guy who did the interview in the car. Thanks, Dandy. Memory like a steel trap. a bomb goes off, somebody sticks their microphone in your face, and it's just some kid asking you real questions. It's like, holy shit. Yeah, this one dude had a cane, kind of like Barnabas Collins from Dark Shadows. But didn't that guy's cane have like a sword? Like cane should have a sword in them. What is up with the cane that's just a cane? It doesn't have a sword. How do they get away with that? But yeah, it was fun at Morning Sickness Matt because he did not mess around with the voice changer. That was a good time. And then somebody said, oh, V, their name is V-E-E. But I don't know what was said, but they said, that sounded like a Frankism. Has that word been used around us? A Frankism? I know Frank has like things that he says and like speech patterns of his, but I don't know if that's exactly come up before. I like that. Brenda said, and I love, love, love learning from what others are doing. I have become obsessed with a couple of bulls in Arkansas and the wild animal webcams, watching a nest of eagles that just hatched. Oh, wow. Nature's awesome, man. Yeah, I like, because that's how I learn. You can't tell me what to do. You have to show me, or I'm going to do it my own way. It's like, oh, that's how they do it. Okay. I do like the animal videos and stuff, but you do have to be very careful about after you watch them. Spend your time watching them. Have fun. But as soon as you're done, go to your watch history and get rid of all of them because if you don't, your recommended is going to be nothing but animal videos from now until the end of time. That's how YouTube recommendations work. If you keep getting something weird, just off recommended, check out your watch history. Did you watch something like weird one day? Just like a one-off video? Just get that out of your watched. Then reload YouTube and like see if that weirdness goes away. That's it. Because if you're like me, you need your watch history to remember what you do every day. You can't just erase it all. Listen, yeah, Eagle cams are cool too. I told you about this, but that one Batchy video, it literally ended because he found out they have cameras at the zoo and you can watch like otters or penguins or something like that. People in the comments, he ended that video to go watch those videos or to watch those cams. Thursday. Frank fucking mouse. That mouse, it was like they said they took woolly mammoth DNA and put it into a mouse, and now it has long hair. I think that's bullshit. I think they just found a long-haired mouse and took a picture of it. But Frank's like, I'm not hung up about being bald. But this fucking mouse gets to go out here with his hair and he was going out. Now you can tell Frank is not insecure about being bald. If he was, he would not shave his hair and just hang on to those dead wisps as long as he could. I know that because at one of my other jobs, one of the bosses was that type. He had super receding hairline. Should have just shaved it all off. Like don't let those hairs hang on for dear life. All 5 of them. Just would not shave it for nothing, and you could tell he was super insecure about it. Tried to be just like a little bit extra macho. At the same time, the 2 bosses, one of them was the guy with the ankle tattoo, so you're basically a girl, and then you've got like your buddy acting too macho, so I know they were fucking. So yeah, Frank is not hung up about being bald, but still, like, I don't know. You think he'd like wear a wig every once in a while and then just come back on the show? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Somebody mentioned weaponized cuteness. That's what that little puffy mouse was. And was that the same guy? Somebody else sounded like do you know MEF, MEF, it's Movies Explained 4, and this guy has like a super southern accent. Like I'm sure if you listen to him you could like pinpoint it, but hella accented, and his content is very clean, like he doesn't swear. So like he has like his pseudo swears to get around it. I don't currently watch the channel, but it reminded me of that guy. Your daily dose of meth. Then somebody asked a question. Sometimes people ask questions in there, and it's like they don't expect an answer, and then you give them one, and they're like, "Oh, oh, cool." Oh yeah, that's right, Patrick. He interviewed Wally World in New Orleans, which was great. Yeah, he's talking to some skinny dude in New Orleans, and Arden's like, "I know that guy." Brenda says my dad had a sign in his garage that said, "God only made a few perfect heads. The rest he covered with hair." That's right. Yeah, because like Frank was saying, like he's got like a regular shaped head. It's not like lumpy or odd shaped or nothing weird like that. But the question was like, name one piece of media where there's a happily married couple, or name one movie where there's a happily married couple. So I said Serenity, and I think they said which one, and I'm like, I don't. I didn't recall the exact year, but Serenity is the movie that they made based off of the TV show Firefly. Firefly is a big deal because it was awesome and it was marketed incorrectly, and Fox canceled it after a year. Those dicks. So if you want to watch it, it's only one season long. But then the fans liked it so much and were so pissed off about the cancellation that they got the movie Serenity made. And the reason why that's a big deal is now this is before Nathan Fillion was the big deal that he is today. He's always been a great actor, but they just the world did not recognize it the way we knew of him in the Whedonverse. This is before Marvel and all that. So Serenity is a movie that has no major movie stars. It does have big names in it. Not going to spoil it, but technically they do not. Now this movie does have one of my favorite moments in cinema. It's not on the TV show. It's just in the movie. Great movie though. Really good movie. You know, like the cast was solid. They were all friends. They come back together. They do the damn thing. If you haven't seen it, check it out. You do want to watch. If you've seen nothing, if you've never seen Buffy and Angel, that's okay. You can still watch Firefly. It's sort of like if you like westerns and outer space, there you go. Like Cowboy Bebop, sort of westerny, sort of outer spacey, kind of like that. But yeah, there's a happily married couple in that TV show, in that movie, and they like each other. Imagine that. Brenda, we watched the webcam of Bourbon Street on Mardi Gras. It didn't look fun enough to attend in person yet. I don't know about that standing around outside at night thing. Like when I was younger, sure, but it would hurt my eyes. I'll be real with you. That's why I don't like to drive at night. And then my pen died. I don't know how long I had that pen, so this is a new pen. It's just the same kind, but so that makes my handwriting look terrible. But yeah, yesterday the 7th, that was the Zells' birthday. Uh, I mean, I know what year they were born. I don't know how old they are. Um, because I think Frank Zell is from like maybe he was born in like 1910. Like he's not like baby boomer age. He's like greatest generation aged. Like that's the way he comes off. I know he's actually younger than that. So he says, but like that's the way he comes off as if he like lived through the Great Depression and the war and all that stuff. They're both old souls. Yeah, hope Jim got his Twizzlers. But since we keep bringing up Gene Hackman, people mention his movies. You do want to watch The Birdcage. How have you not seen that movie? It was, I guess it was like a play, or like there's videos about the history about the movie. Like you do want to like check those out if you do like the movie. It makes if you like The Birdcage, like the stuff going around behind the scenes and like why it even exists as a film is incredible. This is when like Nathan Lane was worried about being, oh, people are gonna think I'm gay because you could not be gay in the late '90s in the United States. That was not a thing you could just be. A lot of other reasons too. It has one of my favorite lines from anything. You can see it in a clip on YouTube right now. I don't want to spoil it too much. It's sort of a clip. You can tell it's a green screen, at least I can, but it's Robin Williams, and he's talking to his, what, boyfriend, husband, wife. I don't know how you want to consider them. And there's it's like a pier, and the sun is sort of gonna maybe set in a couple hours. There's a boat going by in the background. That scene. Brenda said, I recently watched a show called Shrinking. Liked it, and my favorite characters are the happily married couple. Aw, that's cool. Yeah, it did feel like a Friday ever since Wednesday. I think I was just anticipating Mayhem coming out. So I was getting excited for that. I did sort of let myself. I didn't want to get too excited because I would have been tired that night, but I had to go ahead and let myself get excited the way I was before Joanne came out, before I knew that was going to be a country album, and all I was thinking was like, wow, Gaga's coming out with another album. Art Pop was great. Art Ray was great. She was great on American Horror Story. That was a nice feeling. And then Frank did mention this about his yeah, Frank and Jim Zell are twins. Lizard. Yeah. So they say. We haven't seen them, but apparently they're the look-alike twins. Again, allegedly. But Pam, Frank's it's like his Frank's dad, Anthony, grew up with Pam, and then Pam sort of like became part of the family, like an aunt, something like that. Maybe I knew this at the time, I just forgot because it's been so long. But just getting some details about her. But she was found in early December of 2020. That they figured she had passed away a couple of days after Thanksgiving, and she was found December 3rd, just like lying on the couch. Her husband had dementia, so I don't know exactly how that would affect you, but yeah, I guess if there's just like no movement from a room, you just don't mind it because you have dementia. So he was just and Frank said that's what messed him up. It would just keep him up. Like, how do you go like days and days and days? Sun up to sundown, and there's just a full on dead body in the house, and you just go about your day and still like talk to it like it's like they're still alive. Like, did he think she was just taking a nap that long? I don't know what like the logic that goes into play there, but just speaking from personal experience. Want to make sure that's the full thing there. Yeah. Speaking from personal experience, you can tell when somebody is dead versus alive, and I don't know exactly what that is. This was like less than a year ago when it happened to me, but is it the fact that I don't know why I could tell that they were dead. Was it because they were not? What did I notice first? They weren't moving. They weren't breathing. Different colored, because like the blood kind of like goes away from the face when. So I don't know what set me off, but there's a huge difference between seeing somebody asleep and seeing somebody not moving and knowing they're no longer in their body. But I don't have dementia, so I'm not judging the man for not doing anything for 5 days, don't get me wrong, but you can tell. Nobody is that. You don't see like the covers moving. It's just you can. Elizabeth said, I kind of thought so for some reason. I've seen a pic of Frank. He's nice looking. Haha. Yeah, like Frank Zell did have a picture of himself. He might still have a picture of himself up on his Twitter. Frank Z2137. But how do we know that's him? No, if it like he just looks like a guy, like you would not think, oh my god, that's one of the Zells. Like it's just like a picture of a dude. If you wouldn't know, if it wasn't on that guy's handle, you wouldn't know it was him. Somebody played some music that sounded like Super Mario Brothers finale music. I forget, like if I heard it, like what, like you beat the whole game, like maybe Super Mario Brothers 2. One of those. It sounded like the finale music. What's up, B-Chap? So that threw me off. But yeah, this is when Jay Gould and Ella was on. They were talking about like showing that dude like playing his piano. It was like Mozart that transitioned into something else, and they were talking about like you're not thinking about the individual keys. You're just like going off of muscle memory. You practice something enough, and your body just takes over. That's how I learn songs. When I start singing it absentmindedly, and I'm getting all the words right, once it's in my subconscious, I know that I know it. And that's how it is with music. You learn a piece, it gets to be like your fingers are just moving, you're not even thinking about the notes you're playing, it's just you've gone through the motions that much. Same thing with the song. You sing it enough, your body's going to remember when to breathe, just how to let your body sing it, and it just your body kind of takes over and does the work for you. So that's how you can, practice makes perfect. Get your 40 hours a day in, you can do anything. Well, what is it? You have to learn like spend 10,000 hours on something to be a professional at it, something like that. Right? Yeah, the music was good, very good music, and quite frankly, this week. And some guy called in. Oh, do you know Dune? Do you know the movie Dune? No, nobody knows Dune. We know Lord of the Rings. We know Game of Thrones. We know Star Wars, and we know Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's it. We don't know Dune. I'm sorry. If it's good, that's great, but we don't know. And that went by so fast. Oh yeah, let's make this final. So the movie poll for actually let me drop this in here one more time. Oh, I knew this episode was gonna be so clipboard. So so just full. Too much has happened in the last couple of weeks. Zora, if you missed her pulling out the bag of Keto Brainz, you want to go back and check that. Yeah, check out some Keto Brainz. It showed up. It's a huge fucking bag. This is the size of my forearm, and I wear about a I don't wear women's shoes. So in men's, I wear about an 8.5 or a 9. So for cause your foot is the same length, like from your wrist to your elbow. That's why I use that for an example. It's a huge bag. It says it's something like a month's supply, but honestly, I can probably take half a dose every day and still feel something. But we'll see. It's just slightly cost prohibitive with my current rate of income. Yeah, so for the movie poll, that is there's Beckett, there is Runaway Train, Donnie Darko, and Kill the Irishman. Patrick, great evening, Nikki, many thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, don't forget your pants on the way out. Bring them over to Quite Frankly in about a half an hour here. But it is looking like I'm going to be calling it. So the movie with the highest percent of votes is Runaway Train from 1985 with 33% of the vote. These were all really close. So this is the one. It has John Voight. This is on Tubi. Tubi is a free app you can watch on your phone, your smart TV, and everything in between. Have not seen it, so this will be interesting. And then we'll get this reviewed. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. I want to give us at least 3 weeks to watch this. Oh, Lizard said enjoyed it, Nikki. See you soon. Yeah, I'll see you soon. I want to give us at least 3 weeks to watch this. So if I don't review this at the very end of March, we'll get it reviewed for the very beginning of April. But we'll get that watched, get that reviewed. Looking forward to that already. I like when it's something I don't like nothing about. Oh yeah, that isn't a whole lot, Beach App. Yeah, not too much credit left. And then next week, it quite frankly, it's just a regular full week. Yeah, just a regular week. It quite frankly next week. We got daylight savings coming up tomorrow at 2 a.m. So don't forget to set your clock forward if you're in the United States. And then I'm gonna listen to Mayhem and talk about that probably next week. Take the Keto Brainz for a month. Talk about that after a month. And yeah, any movie suggestions you do have, you can put in the comments of this video. You can put them in the comments of actually any video or tweet. I will get those. We'll throw them in the mix. So we gotta pick out something for April coming up. And that's just the notification for quite frankly going live in 30 minutes. He's gonna have like his mom and his dad are gonna be there, his cousin Jeff, allegedly. So I'll see you guys there in 30 minutes. It was great seeing you guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for remembering your pants and smashing the like button and being Franklies and having a good time. Yeah, Jenna will listen to Frank. Yeah, we'll see what Frank's doing. I love seeing you guys. Check out Keto Brainz. Quite frankly, has a promo code that's just frankly in all caps, so you can save on that. I'm not sponsored, but Frank is. If you like the Not Today Satan shirt, you can get one at graystillplays.com. Link in the description. Not affiliated with him either. Dandy can't find his keys. Somebody has to put him in the trunk of their car and drive him home. Don't forget he's back there, please. Beach Up, yeah, there's an older computer game called Dune. That is right. Yeah, John Rogers, have a great night, everyone. Beach Up, you also got the newer video game, Dune 2000. Nice. I just have heard the books are very, very long and they don't get good until something like the fifth one, but I don't know enough to speak on that. But yeah, love you guys. Take it easy. Stay warm. Have a good meal. Watch some movies. Until next time.